Welcome back to the Coaching Life Podcast. Coach, got a question for you. So we're jumping right in. That's our new process, right? What was your win-loss record as a sophomore in high school on the bump?
I didn't pitch much my sophomore year.
Oh, ruined it.
I pitched a little bit, but
your junior year?
My sophomore year of high school was the first year I played varsity ball, and that was a surprise to me because I expected to play JV.
Yeah. Oh, really? Well, yeah.
I did. I mean, the seniors that year were Michael Bartram, played in the NFL, also was being recruited to play professional baseball in high school. Brent Bissell was our catcher. Brian Durst, Scotty Williams. Williams. I mean, so a lot of good, and then you had juniors, Terry Ryder Terry Fields.
Yeah.
Was our first baseman, I remember, and we had a good ball team. And coach brought me up. I ended up playing second base that year.
Well, I think we talked about.
But that's all I remember.
It was general, like freshmen definitely didn't expect to play varsity. Sophomore.
Yep. Yeah, I didn't expect to play varsity. I didn't come into that season thinking that I had a shot at making the varsity team. No, not at all. I don't even remember it from my senior year when I had a great year.
Yeah.
I mean, I hit, for the first time, I hit a few home runs in my whole high school career, but I don't remember how many. I'm sure that number has increased over the years.
I like fish.
Yeah. I think it was 6, but it was probably really 3.
Got ya. Yeah. Let's go 12 then.
That's right. Why not? I mean, nobody knows. There's no record books from that far back.
For some reason, we don't keep records in baseball. I don't know why.
Yeah.
The reason I ask you that, because we're going to talk today about what I feel like are important moments, important elements to being a part of a program. Not playing a sport in high school, but being a part of something that's bigger than yourself, and the things that, in talking to people and from experience, that you remember the most,
right?
As opposed to, I would say, just individual successes like statistics and awards and things like that. You have any thoughts?
Little things that there are things that happen within a program, whether it be a baseball program, a football program, a basketball, volleyball, golf, cross country, soccer, whatever it is that you play, that are culture builders that may not have anything to do with playing the game. Like they shape relationships, they shape lives, and personalities and maturity, and but they also, on a sort of a backdoor way, they also really can have an impact on your team.
Definitely.
They can have an impact on the success or failure of your team if you do them.
Yep.
And we mentioned, when we threw out the different topic ideas in our first episode of season 12 here, we threw out just this idea of talking about some things like that, dedicating an entire episode to what kinds of things are we talking about when we say that.
Yeah.
And that's what you're thinking too, right?
Right.
I want to make sure that we came in the room today thinking the same thing.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We're on the same page. So off the top.
Yeah. We just want to talk about some of those things that we do, and maybe even some things that we'd like to start doing that we don't do. Or
yeah, sure. Or just in general. Well, I mean, you do this. I was just going to say bus rides.
Oh, the importance of the bus ride.
Yeah. And I was talking to someone the other day. Maybe not the other day. It's funny.
The other day can be a week or 3 weeks
or 3 months. Time flies.
Time does get away from you.
Jeez, I think it was over a month ago. But talking about the bus rides, talking about enforced,
the
required bus rides.
Yeah, there's no secret. I make our kids ride. I make all of our players ride the bus home.
Yeah, so I think we might have even been taught. I can't remember, but our kids got to ride the bus home. There is some negative to that. Some challenge to that. But they said it's one of my fondest memories.
Yeah.
Playing high school sports is the bus rides to and the bus rides from the games. And
what is the biggest negative to that? Like, what is the biggest challenge to saying that all of our athletes, when they go to an away game, they all have to ride the bus back to the school? What is the biggest negative challenge that you can think of?
I mean, in general, it's just getting home later than what you would, and
if you don't drive, mom or dad or somebody has to come and get you,
and if you don't eat.
Well, that's another little thing too. Right?
It is.
Yeah,
it is.
But it's an important thing,
and I'm guilty of this too. I mean,
saying we're not stopping because we lost. We're not stopping.
Oh no, I don't mind. Yeah. We really shouldn't be eating that late.
Yeah, that's true.
We should really figure out how to feed our athletes for that, and it's tough sometimes. You leaving it.
I guess you and I shouldn't be eating that late. It's okay for them to get fueled back up though if they were pretty active.
Well, it depends on what they're eating.
I mean, because we always. I mean, I'm thinking OU football games. The last thing before we get on the bus is the spread of the post game meal and I even grab one, like all the extra folks.
I tell you, the perks,
and that's 11 o'clock at night eating.
What are they eating?
It could be anywhere from Chick-fil-A to
really.
It's usually like Jersey Mike's subs, things like that.
I'm surprised.
Yeah.
What I was thinking was. In those moments, late where we're going out to eat, we're not picking the best.
No, we're not.
Things to fill our body with.
That's what's available to us too.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So when you're eating that late, that's all that you have.
So that's one of the negatives is that kids don't get a dinner on those nights.
Well, and two, I mean, I would say from like my perspective at Meg's it's a vast area. So some kids drive 40 minutes. 30 minutes to the school.
Yeah.
So,
and they always have. Back in 1976, there were kids that got home from baseball and football games and drove 40 minutes to get home.
But it's definitely not that. It's not 1946 now. Right? It's not.
It's not even 1996 now.
You're right. It's not. 99, yeah. Yeah, I would agree. So there's a lot of that adds some challenge, but I would say there's situations like if we go to River Valley,
where are you going to?
We're driving. So if we ride the bus home, we're driving past kids' houses to get to the school, and then they're driving back. So they would have, if they would have rode with their parents, they would have been there maybe even an hour earlier.
You want to know why I think I haven't gotten much argument from people at Eastern about this? It's because what you just described, I do it.
Yeah, but
we played at Alexander. I live 5 minutes from Alexander High School.
Mm-hmm.
I drive down to Eastern, get on the bus, take the bus up to the game, play the game, coach the game, watch the game, get back on the bus, all the way back to Eastern.
Yeah.
Get in my car, drive back home.
Yeah.
I'm like, listen, I understand. That's the sacrifice that I chose to make when I said I'm going to be the baseball coach.
Sure. Yeah.
And I have other coaches that tell me there's no reason for you to do that. Just drive to the game. I'm like, no, I actually choose to not do that.
Yeah. I've rode every bus.
Yeah.
Every bus.
Yeah.
But I don't require my kids to make it, and I'll leave the complete why out of it. But I definitely considered it.
You're considering it?
Well, I'm not in the process of considering, but I considered it when I took the job. You had to make sure
you say that because you don't want emails, right?
Yeah.
It's for somebody who watches our podcast or listens.
But it's like
the negative is it's a later night.
It's a later night.
Welcome to playing a sport, right?
That's true. That is true.
We got to stop. It is what it is.
Yep.
So that's why we tell them get your homework done.
Yes.
But during the times you have the opportunity to do it,
things like that.
There's always going to be sacrifices. Playing a sport is a privilege. It's not a right.
Yep.
And when you have privileges, then there are going to be sacrifices of other things that come with those.
Mm-hmm.
Remember when we had Nathan Rourke in here and we asked him about what life was like for him in high school? Give us an example of what what you were like as a high school athlete. And that's one of the first things he said was, I sacrificed things that other kids were doing because I had different goals than them.
Yeah.
And maybe your goal is just you want to play high school basketball. Well, guess what? If you play all the way down in Chesapeake, on a Tuesday night, you're not going to get back home until 1 a.m. You better make sure that, and you got a test the next day, you're not going to be as fresh as other kids. Then don't play basketball. Yeah. If you really want to be like that, there's nothing else we can do about it. Right? I won't, other than say, you're not allowed, you don't have to ride the bus home. That's okay.
I won't out the coach, but go ahead if you want to finish this.
Well, no, the last part of my thought was going to transition to the positive side because I was going to say, but all we've talked about so far is the negative aspect of having to ride the bus home, and to me, that really isn't that big of a negative. Like the negative has to do with the sacrifice that you make when you play a sport. Mm-hmm. The positives to making a rule like that, I think, outweigh the negatives, and we haven't gotten to those yet. So you go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, and we had a booster meeting, and the let's see if I can see how put this together without. There was a banquet for the sport previous to the sport in session.
Yeah. And
so let's just say, it obviously wasn't me. Let's just say it was basketball and baseball, and I was
there was a basketball banquet and you had baseball practice.
And I'm the coach saying, so the booster said, are you going to make it available? Are you going to make it possible for these kids to miss your baseball practice to be at the basketball banquet? And my response was, look,
this is hypothetical. You really didn't do this.
I didn't. Someone did, but I did.
Yeah.
Look, there's other sports at this school that kids can play besides baseball if they want to play.
So basically the answer is
no.
Yeah. Yeah. This is where that brings up a whole different issue. And for me, that's where coaches have got to communicate. Like, that's just disrespectful of one coach to say, I'm going to have our banquet on a time when I know you've got basketball practice.
Well,
you're only thinking of your sport. Like, that's where coach is like, hey, we need to have our banquet, I don't want to interfere because I know I got kids that play both sports. Yeah. And that's just communication.
Let me clarify. So at Meg's, they have a winter. The banquets are
fall sports, winter sports.
It's all together.
Do combined banquet. Yes. I remember that because I was part of those.
To find a spot that everyone's available is really, really difficult.
It's scheduled for them. I forgot about that. Yeah.
So that wasn't the case. Although I do agree.
We do our own individual banquets now. Yeah. And so our sport can schedule it whenever we want.
Yeah. It is important for coaches of the different programs of the sport to be on the same page and have a camaraderie.
Somebody schedules those, right? Like, so whether it be the coach or a group of the athletic boosters or whoever.
It's just a lot more difficult, is what I'm saying. I don't it's hard to find.
Well, there's a day, Sunday afternoon is the perfect day.
Yeah.
Right? We're not having any mandatory stuff on Sundays. This is when we're having our banquets.
Yeah.
I mean, it's as easy as that. I mean, all the banquets at Athens were Sunday. That we do Sunday. I mean, why not just do Sunday?
Right.
So there you go. If you're on the board, if you're on the athletic boosters board and you're listening to our podcast, there's a recommendation for you. So to get rid of that conflict that we talk about here on the Coaching Life podcast.
I think it's a cultural issue. I don't think it could be blamed on any single entity. Just to clarify that to my booster folks out there, I'm not trying to throw you under the bus.
You're Mr. Diplomacy over there. I love it. We talk about the hard topics that other people don't like to talk about.
Honest, genuine conversation.
But no, listen. Like you said, there are a lot of memories that people build riding the bus home. This is just one example of many things that we could be talking about today. But just on the positive side, the biggest positive, I think, about this, and I shared this with my in my preseason parents meeting, the biggest positive for me requiring our athletes to ride the bus home is that they need that time to flush away everything that happened in the game, win or lose, right?
And so does the parents.
Yes, and parents need that time to be able to get home, to think a little bit, to get some perspective. Because right now, because let's say something bad happened at the game. We lost the game, and your kid made an error that caused the winning run to win, right? To come in. Your kid didn't lose the game for us, but he's feeling that, right? He needs to be with his buds on the bus, his teammates who are going to pick him up when we stop to eat, and they're sitting with him, and he's forgetting about that a little bit, and we're starting to look toward the next game, right? We're starting to think about other things. He doesn't need to be in the car sulking all the way home. Another negative: your kid maybe didn't play, he didn't get in the game, and he's upset about it, right? And he's thinking about it because he really wanted to play. You're upset about it because mom, dad, you always get upset when your kids aren't playing. We get that. You will have a tendency to want to talk about that on the way home.
Yep.
I'm not saying that every parent does. I'm just telling you, I think I can generalize in this. A lot of us do, right? You can have a tendency to want to chat about that with your wife, your husband, whoever else is in the front seat with you, whether it's chatting about it with your child or not. The kid does not need to hear you asking him, hey, why didn't you play tonight? He's already thinking about that, right? He also doesn't need to hear you complaining about your coach.
Yeah.
About the coach.
That's a topic.
That is huge. It is huge, because the biggest thing that, one, we don't always understand this as parents, but our kids are having a different experience playing that sport than you are watching the sport or supporting him playing the sport. And they're not having the same experience that you are. I don't care how much you try to say that they are or you think that they are. They're not. There are parents that will say that will say, I know that he's feeling this, right? Because he's my son, or she's my daughter. I know that she's feeling this.
Yeah.
And I don't know, and I know I'm offending people by saying this right now, because as parents, we love our kids, right? And we like to think that we know them better than anyone. And we probably do know them better than anyone. But we don't always know exactly the experience they're having every practice, in the dugout, the conversations they're having with the coaches and their friends and their teammates. And so sometimes we will place upon them an assumption that they are having the exact same feelings that we are as mom and dad. We are disappointed that our kid didn't get a chance. And so we assume he's feeling the exact same thing.
And that's okay. That's fine.
It's absolutely fine. Yeah. And I guess what I'm just saying is, there's a, and that bus, well, going back to the bus ride home, you might be surprised to know by the time your kid gets home, we're just looking forward to tomorrow.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, it's done.
Done. I guess, evaluating my decision to not require that, I'm kind of taking an opportunity away from a kid to serve in a role. Mm-hmm. Because, being together with your teammates and the perspective that you bring, and, your personality and who you are can impact how we feel about that game that we just had. Also, how we feel, like you said, about tomorrow.
Yeah, we talk a lot about what's coming on the bus. There are times when I'll turn around, I'll say, let's turn the music off, because we listen to music win or lose. I don't want silence on the way home. I don't want silence on the way there. I don't want them. I mean, baseball's it's a long game. They're like they need to focus. Well, they are getting focused. They're listening. They're loose. They're listening to music, right? Miley Cyrus, Party in the USA. Every time we pull into a place, that's been the theme song for some reason over the past 3 or 4 years. But they just love it. They love it. But it keeps them loose, right? And on the way home, I don't need them sulking about a loss. You're going to sit there and you're going to think about this all the way home, and we're not going to stop to eat either, right? It's tough. You lose a district championship or you lose in the regional or whatever, it's a little quieter for a little bit. But I remember there was a game.
Oh man, I just realized something good.
Yeah, there was a game that we lost. I don't remember when it was, but I remember, we were on the bus and we got, we'd driven 10 miles or so, because the restaurant was a little further away. And it was quiet. It was real quiet. This was like early in the season, you know, but we weren't expecting to lose this particular game, I think. And Dustin looks at me and he goes, one of my assistant coaches, he looks at me and he goes, "You care if I tell him to put the music on? Like this isn't us. Like we don't do this." And I said, "Yeah, it's time for them to knock. I mean, to snap out of it, right? Like stop pouting about what happened and let's turn some music on." Yeah. So he shouted back, "Hey, where's the music?" And they're like, "Oh," and I don't think they wanted to. Like these were kids that expected to win, and they didn't. You know, like they wanted to feel it, right? But they put the music on. Then you start hearing conversations, and then you hear a laugh. Somebody laughs. Somebody said something funny, and you hear laughter, and then all of a sudden, okay, we're back. We're back. This is who we are. Stop and eat. Get back on the bus after another 45 minutes of eating. By the time we get back to the school, look, I turn around, say, here's what the plan is tomorrow, and we just switch gears to tomorrow.
That's what you have to do.
And that's the bus ride home, right? And I don't want to have that experience with just 6 of my 18 guys, right? Because only 6 of them ride the bus home because they don't have the resources to be able to have somebody take them home. They don't have the parents there to the game or whatever. Yeah. I want all of them to experience that. So that's just a personal thing that's
ever make exceptions to it?
For me, it's personal. For some schools, it's a policy. This is what we're doing. I think that Eric has made that the policy at Athens.
Oh, really? Yeah. They have to ride.
Yep. Which makes it easier on coaches because a lot of coaches want that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But it's hard, like you're saying. It's sometimes hard, right?
Yeah. I mean, like I said, when I came in, when I was hired, I wanted to do that, and after some evaluations, some conversations,
there are other. I got a list of positives. I mean, there are other reasons for it.
Okay,
right?
Drop them.
I mean, well,
you think we've expired bus rides?
We probably have. But,
what's the next?
Well, I'll give you one. So I've known some school districts. I don't know that this is true everywhere, but I've heard that some school districts or superintendents in some school districts have been looking for would sometimes look for ways to cut costs. Mm-hmm. And one of the cost saving measures that I'm thinking of one particular school that actually did this like maybe 10 years ago was instead of pay, because when you send a bus driver out, that's a supplemental, like that's extra pay.
Yep,
and they're getting paid by the hour, so they're sitting there watching a game, getting paid. They don't clock out until you get home. They log what time you get home, right? So some school districts, in an effort to save money, they said we're going to have bus drivers take you, drop you off, and then they're coming back, and then you got to find a ride home. You get your own ride home. Mm-hmm. And if a superintendent or the treasurer, whoever it is that's coming up with these decisions, knows that the majority of our sports teams only brings about 2 kids back on the bus every time anyway, that's a pretty easy decision for them to make, mm-hmm. right? And I don't want that because I've got some kids that have to ride the bus or they're not going to play baseball. And so I tell everybody, we're going to fill this bus on the way home because we need it. We need this.
Yeah.
So it's a strategy in that sense.
It's odd you say that.
So
one observation I had is over the last 4 years, the bus rides home, ours is volunteer. It's not. Yeah. It's voluntary.
Yeah.
Are more full as the season goes on. Yeah. Especially with seniors, and I remember
they want to, right?
Yes, they want to.
Yeah.
The bigger losses that we've had at Paint Stadium, mm-hmm. district semi, district finals, the bus was full on the way.
Yep. Home. Yep. Oh yeah, that last loss of the season. Yeah.
I think that's a natural approval of the idea. So probably something I have to reevaluate.
Well, another of the little extra things that we're talking about that's actually related to this, or we made it related in the conversation, is meals.
Yeah.
The importance of doing meals together. And that is, you mentioned that one of the negatives to the bus ride thing is that you're getting home late or you're eating late. When are the athletes actually eating dinner? And well, we do eat before we play. Like we do have a team mom situation.
Do you have that for every game?
Yes, home or away. We have team meals. And if the game is further away and the bus is leaving at say 2:45, so they get out of class, they basically got time to come out to the locker room, get on the bus and go. It's a grab and go, and we let the bus drivers know, hey, we will make sure everything is cleaned up, and all of our bus drivers understand the reason why we do it. This is fuel. This isn't just pleasure. This is fuel. They need it, and so if we chose to not eat afterwards, it wouldn't be that big of a deal to me. But we also choose to eat afterwards. If it's reasonable, like if we're playing at a school that there's no restaurant between that school and our school, unless we go out of the way, then we're just going home, right? But we will typically always eat on the way. On the way home.
We've done so. Is that? Do you require that
food?
Yeah.
Oh, the pregame meal?
Or do you just offer
It's just part of I require them to all eat it.
Yeah.
I've never yet. Never yet had to make a kid eat.
Let them get a Subway before.
Oh no. Yeah, the team meal like this team. Yeah, one of the reasons for that is to keep them from leaving school and going up to Tupper's Plains, and getting something and coming back because you're late otherwise, and that's because I want them there. I want them there after, we do BP. They don't all, that's not mandatory either. Like some kids don't like to take BP before a game, and I'm fine with that.
Yeah, me too.
And it's a feel thing. And so but if you're not taking BP, I want you there.
Yeah.
And so, if it's a home game, there's pre-practice, there's pre-game stuff, and that I want them out there doing. But if it's an away game, we're just kind of hanging in the locker room and just being together.
Yeah,
yes. It's
absolutely
hard to explain. Like it's an intangible, but it's important.
Yeah. Well, that's where you get a lot of your memories.
Yeah, it is.
What else we got? Whatever.
Well, I've got a few little ones that maybe are things that are just easy to do, but we may not always think about it. And I've thought about this here recently because we just had a new semester begin, and I'm still working on this as an instructor in the classroom, and that is learning names quickly and using their names often. Now, I know it's not hard for you and I who grow up with we know these kids from the time they're little, but so we already know their names by the time they get to us. But that's not always the situation for every coach. You got freshmen that come in, you may not know who they are. Like I don't want to be, as a coach on day one, having to ask a kid what his name is, And I remember this as a new coach coming into Eastern, how important this was to me, because I only knew like two of these kids the first year I got hired there, and practice started 2 weeks later because I was hired late in the school year. The first thing that I did was get their names, and then I asked for like a photo so that I could put together a little pictorial directory, if you will, of the team. And I just went through, okay, this is Blake. This is Ross. They call him Bubba. They call him that. This is this kid. This is this kid. And I wanted to make sure that I had those names. But yeah. I don't know. I think that's it's something that I think goes a long way. It's a little thing like
interpersonal relationship.
You're really good at this. Asking about life outside of sports or supporting other aspects of their life outside of our sport, right? Like it's important for me and you, I know, to go to other games. Like we have kids that play football, and I go to football games, basketball games. I want them to see me there. I want to be there too, and I know you do too. But there's other reasons why we do it, because we want them to know that we value them as a person, not just them as a baseball player.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's actually one of the reasons why I walk around. I like having other people pitch BP for us when we're doing batting practice. The more casual batting practice, like before the game, we do on-field batting practice during the game or on game days. And one of the awesome things is I've always had other people throw during that time, because I just like to, once I get settled into the dugout, I'll just take off walking through the outfield and just stop and chat with different guys about, I mean, not about the game, just how was school today, what else you got going on in life, things like that, know. Just those in-between moments, I think, that we sometimes take for granted.
Yeah, and speaking of the experience, a parent that thinks that they know how their kid feels, they're definitely not getting that portion of the practices and the games,
right?
That interaction between coach and player. So they're definitely void of some of the experience, whether they think they know and
that's what I meant by you're not having the same experience,
right?
Because there are other things that
I say this in our parent meetings every year, that I wish parents could come and be at every practice, and I think
our practices are open.
Oh, ours are too. Yeah, the point of that is so that parents can share that experience a little more.
Yeah.
And see, because you get to games, and if that's your only opportunity as a parent to see your kid be a part of a team, and they're not playing, there's there's disappointment in that.
Yeah.
But what you're missing is really the part of the team that they are, and the role that they're not getting playing time. They're not getting an individual stat added to their name, but they're part of the program. They're part of the team. They're doing something to help that team win in one way or another. So it's hard for parents to
the way that you began this podcast today was asking me how many games I won on the mound and what my batting average was back, and those just aren't the things that are like they're not getting a stat, but it may not really matter.
I don't know.
Down the road.
I'm sure I told you, but I don't know if I said it on the podcast. Jake came in over the summer. Holding.
Oh, yeah, you did tell me this. I don't know if you said it on the podcast or not.
Like holding a stack or something. What are you doing? What do you want me to do with these? He said, what do you want me to do with these? Like, what are they? It was my all league plaques and all district certificates, stuff like that. Like, what do you mean? He's like, should I throw them away?
That's hilarious.
Like, why are you asking me if you should throw them away? He's like, I don't need them.
Yeah.
They're just in my room. And I'm like, no, you don't throw them away.
I know. I've had the same.
So I go and take them from him, and I go into his room, and I put them up into his closet.
Yeah.
And
I know still has a room in our house. It's his room, maybe a guest room, but it's his, and all of those trophies, like he did not take those with him when he went to college or when he went, and I've asked him, he's like, no, I don't want those. Like they look at me, but you, like, I don't know. It's as parents, you're like, we're not getting rid of those.
Yeah. Yeah. And I guess my fear is that he might want them someday, but he's not going to want them.
Right.
He's not going to want them.
My parents ask me, because there's a closet in their house.
Right now.
I'm 52 years old. They're trying to clean out their house because they want to move, right? They want to sell it. And every time I go down there, Dad's like, hey, I got these Sports Illustrateds. And he pulled out all the swimsuit issues. He gives me all the old Sports Illustrateds. And I shouldn't have said that about Dad, but no, it's cool though. Like if you go in my office now, I've got some mint condition 1988, 87, 89 Sports Illustrated editions.
Oh, wow.
Really cool.
Yeah, cool
to look through those again. But like trophies and things like that,
medals.
And I'm like, no, I'm like, just toss them. I'll come back. Are you sure you don't want these trophies? Like, no, I really don't. Like they mean nothing to me, right now. And they really didn't mean anything to me by the time I got to college, And it's the same. Jake's thinking the same thing. He's turning the page.
It's a fleeting moment. That,
it is.
It
is
going to have value in the long run. So where does the value comes from these things that we're talking about?
Right.
The in between moments.
Right. These kids will be in. I just went to a wedding of an athlete that I coached that played here at OU. And I looked up on the stage, up on his wedding party. He had a couple of his teammates up there with him. He didn't play nearly as much as he expected to or wanted to while he was here at OU. But those guys were in his wedding. All of Brock's teammates, his entire wedding party, all of his groomsmen were teammates.
Yeah.
There are things like that get built during the season. And we exhaust this topic. We talk about this all the time. But I think it's just because that is the coaching life. Like that's what it's about. It's not about, we can't pound it in our own heads or other people's heads enough. It's just not about your wins and losses and batting averages and your numbers and things like that. It's the reason why you and I are not attending the Hall of Fame banquet at the OHSBCA conference, because it's not just about wins.
Oh, is that
if we
out
got
now?
a guy that should be in that Hall of Fame, I will shout it until I'm blue in the face. Yeah, I'm not going to go. If they don't put Gibby in there, I'm just not going to go. I'll be in it someday, maybe. I'm not going to go.
And
I'm not going to be in it. But that's
my feeling of that probably trickles down from the MLB Hall of Fame of not allowing Pete Rose to be in it for so long. And it's just, to me, it takes the.
It does take the luster out of it.
Yeah, it takes the validity.
Right.
It discredits.
Well, there's a lot of other things that have happened too since Pete Rose.
Sure, yeah, but that
MLB is
the baseline is like,
well,
it just doesn't mean as much, and to me, the Hall of Fame would mean a lot more.
I mean, I get it. I'm sure that if a board member listens to our podcast, they would say, "Chris, let me explain something to you."
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
There are a lot of coaches out there that have the same kind of story that Coach Gibson has. You know what my answer to that is?
Put them in.
Yep.
Because if they did what Coach Gibson did,
they deserve.
They're a steward. They're everything that coaches should aspire to be, and
those are the men that we want to hold up in front of our younger coaches and say, "Be like that guy."
Yeah.
Now, he didn't win as many championships as it requires according to your algorithm to get into the Hall of Fame, but we also have other aspects that make people a Hall of Fame coach that we recognize.
Yeah.
And we're not doing that.
Yep.
We're just not doing it.
Yep.
Yeah.
For sure. Well, now that you got us in trouble.
And I said it before we started talking on here. I got other things I can do. If they don't want me to coach anymore, if I'm not allowed to be in I'm enjoying other aspects of my life too. Like I love coaching. I love it. But I'm at the age too where I'm not going to mince words. Like let's just tell the truth.
Yeah.
I mean, and if we're wrong, I'm willing to hear it.
I think that means you're getting old.
It does. I like when you get crotchety and you don't care what people think. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Do you guys listen to music during warm-ups and things like that? We brought that up on the bus, right? But I think another example is just things like that. Music during practice.
Mm-hmm. Well, I actually
you put music
something
on
that I've
during
been
practice?
doing. We do, but something I've done the last few years is I've created some leadership groups in the program, and
cool.
we have a practice leadership group. So I let those guys kind of not exactly dictate, but give suggestions. I would say, obviously, I make the final decision.
Let them take some ownership. Well, you got veto power.
That's the idea that I can.
They take ownership in the practice plan.
They take ownership.
That's cool.
So it lets them, do you want music, and I kind of leave it up to them. The teams that we've had has asked, and I say, yeah, go ahead. And sometimes they take it upon themselves to get up there and get the music on. Sometimes they don't.
And there are times when, I'll let our guys know, that I got a music guy. Coach Huffman's our music guy.
He controls it.
He's our DJ.
Yeah.
Oh, well, he loves it.
Yeah.
And he's the one that has spent the dollar. Well, he'll tell you Jennifer spends the money on their sound system, but he's got a good JBL, big huge JBL speaker. But there are times when we don't want it, when we're providing instruction, or we know we're going to need to intervene a lot in practice. But there are times when we're doing something routine, where there isn't as much of that. Like our batting practice rounds are typically when we'll put the music on.
Yeah. I'm not against it.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
How many team gatherings do you have through the season?
Like meetings and things like that. A lot more before we start playing games.
Mm-hmm.
And we did I like, like things like having a team book or whatever. Like I've never done a team book where I purchased a copy of a book for every player. Because one, that takes a good chunk of your funds.
Yeah.
But we've done like one book and passed it around and had guys lead chapters from it, and and that's pretty cool. We'll do that at the beginning. But last year we wrote our own book.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Our team manual was essentially in page number chapter style. Like this is the kind of team and that we want to be, and the kind of teammates we want to be, but we put it together in the form of a book. Like it was 20 chapters, and each one dealt with a different aspect of what it means to be part of our program. Some things were more technical, logistical. This is how we're gonna do this or that.
Yep.
Approach base running, or how And
so you let the players,
and then we read that together in the locker room.
Mm-hmm. Did everyone have a copy?
I put it together. I did the team book.
Did you give everyone a copy of that?
Yes.
You printed out?
Because I printed that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then the reason I put it together that way is because I knew that we would be more likely to get through the entire thing together, word for word, if I put it together that way and we did it that way, or we sat down and so we at the beginning, like I mapped it out, like it was the first 20 practices basically. We're having a meeting at the end of every practice, and we're doing a chapter in the book. Mm-hmm. And so like they got used to it, and they'd be like, "What chapter are we doing tonight?" And and I'd tell them what's tomorrow night, because we started out at chapter 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but then I bounced a little bit. I said, so we're going to skip to chapter 16 tomorrow, or whatever, and we just kind of went around the locker room and I'd have guys read like a paragraph. Next guy read that next paragraph, and then I said that at any moment, as we're reading this was our rule. As we were reading, at any moment that anyone wants to stop and preach, then you're allowed to stop. Like you can say, I want to talk about that. And that includes coaches or players, right? If there's something that was said that you don't understand, that you want to ask a question about, or if there's something that was said in the book that you're like, that's an important point and you want to preach on it a little bit, elaborate on it, then go for it. And we had that a little bit. I mean, we had it a lot with me. I mean, because there were things that I wanted to emphasize on there. But there were times when
I purchased a book one time for my team.
For copies of it?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You did. That's right. I'm like, wow, that's a good man.
Yeah.
Yeah. I appreciate that.
Yep.
Yeah, I've thought about using my own book, but I haven't done that yet.
You do.
Yeah,
I'm sure
I do. Right.
I'm sure you talk about a lot of the things that show up in your book, Building Champions. Anyway.
Absolutely. Yeah, there's a lot of baseball stuff in Building Champions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And team stuff.
Yeah.
Right. Team focused stuff, like no blaming, complaining, excuse making. Right.
Well, that was I put some. There were a couple of chapters in this book that we did as our team book that were word for word. I basically went into my manuscript, copied that chapter, and pasted in this book. Like the BC, the no blaming, complaining, or making excuses. That was one of them.
I actually heard you. I remember during a game this year one time. Was it our game?
That's in Coaching Life, I think. That's a chapter. Three behaviors that build a team and 3 behaviors that destroy, that kill a team.
You're right. Now I think
it's because those were 2 different chapters.
Yeah. And was that our game, or was I watching you play? I don't think I made it to a game other than what we played this year. CN Eastern. No, maybe I did. I don't know. Anyway, body language wasn't
You went
great.
over and watched us play Wahama, I think, didn't you? Were you
that wasn't it. I was in the
game
outfield.
at Wahama?
Yeah, I stayed in the outfield. You didn't like the body language of your hitters because umpires calling strike, whatever, outside, and we had to visually defeat us in the box before we even strike out. So now we're just feeding we're making a negative relationship with the umpire, feeding the pitcher's confidence, and doing all kind of bad stuff by having that. And you mentioned, I can't remember exactly what you said. It was basically complaining. Are we going to? When do we let circumstances dictate the way that we approach the game or whatever? So credit you for that. But You do team building exercises, little stupid objectives and things like that. I know. I shouldn't say stupid, but
but I know what you meant.
Oh, because I've done them before. Like we did.
It's like planned. Like I would almost say youth group icebreakers or youth group.
Yeah.
That's
what it is.
What do people call them? Girls softball likes to do a lot of these, or at least this. I remember Kaylee doing what they call them, bonding, team bonding things.
Yeah, team chemistry exercises. I don't know.
No,
we've done that. We've done a few of those.
No, but yes, I'll let you. Yeah.
Have you ever have anyone come in and speak?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'd like to do that more actually, because we have meetings.
It's just
built
hard,
in.
though.
It is,
especially
Matthew
once
Blanchard,
the season starts.
Like kids, like Matthew Blanchard was on was home during his spring break. He because he wasn't traveling with his team. His team went to Florida or something like that, and Seton Hill, and so I had him speak at one of our post practice meetings. But yeah, I would like to do that more often. Have other coaches from our school maybe come in and talk.
Yeah.
But yeah, maybe that's something I need to write down. But no, I said no. I don't do like the like you said, the stupid things or whatever. The team.
I guess
I
don't feel bad about saying it because I've done
silly.
it. So.
Yeah. But we do, like, I consider our pre-practice routines. That's part of what's being accomplished there.
I agree. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
It's not structured where like I've grouped kids together. You know, it's
we got guys that picked it up the last couple of years. They play baseball, golf.
Yeah.
Before the game.
Now I don't allow that.
You don't allow it?
I mean, that's not for our pre-practice stuff.
Well,
our pre-practice stuff,
they normally do that.
They can do that if they get there before the pre-practice starts. So the pre, whatever you want to do. Like before I get there, because some of my coaches like it too. Fungo golf. Problem is they don't like it when if I participate, they don't like it because I whoop their behinds.
Wow. I guess you laid that down pretty thick.
Right. Yeah. You got swinging the fungo. That's a skill.
Well, Coach Huffman,
during IO, during in and out, the guys that stand beside me, the catchers, or Dustin's always beside me too. Like I'll call my shot when we're doing double cuts because I'm hitting it over the outfielders' heads, and they've got to go play it off the fence.
That's the only reason you work on double cuts and you're in and out to show off your.
Because it's like I'm going to hit the 320 sign right here, the 320 sign, and in right center we have a 340 sign, but our grass our field kind of goes down a little bit. It slopes. And so if you get a little bit too much, it'll go over the fence. So you got to get it just right. And I'll call Braylon Johnson was always my handing me the ball. He was my guy. And he was like, you get close to that every time. I said, I'm going to hit it. I said, I will hit that sign a few times this year. And it's got some dents on it where the balls hit it. But I love it. Hitting a fungo is fun. And so I get it. The fungo golf thing, like you said, it's a fun thing.
Well, they don't just
activity.
Use fungos, but
they don't all have fungos.
Yeah,
but,
right.
Yeah, but that's a cool activity. Like
those are the things.
Ball, right?
That build your team. That you remember.
Pepper. You're not really getting that much better playing Pepper, but those are all baseball things.
Yeah. Well, who? Mike Smith that doesn't.
I guess it actually could be a skill building thing. Yeah.
You're hitting a ball with the bat, so one way or another.
It's more for the receiving, probably. Yeah. But no, those are. I mean, those are things that we don't necessarily think about when you sit down to do a practice plan, or when you're considering your season, right? But there are things that are built. I'll give you one that we did this year. We set ourselves a goal. We called it. This was actually a chapter in the book, in the team book. It was called Building Connection. And what I meant by connection was physical touch.
Yeah.
I actually told him that. I said, you have a goal every time you come to practice, in every game that we have. We have a goal of getting at least 50 touches in, right? Now, are you counting those all the time? No. But I want you to be aware of it. And what I mean by touches is physically touching one another, right? Fist bumps, high fives, pats, whatever it is, right? Like hugs, whatever it is. And so like they know. Like I show up to the weight room the other night, first thing I did, boom, 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 let's go, right? There are endorphins in our body that kick in by getting just that kind of a physical touch. And of course, when you first start talking, the first night we sat down and we went through that chapter, and I said, we're going to touch each other a lot, right?
Yeah.
They got that. You got to get past that. It's not a sexual thing, right?
I don't think you went to the...
It's a relationship thing.
Our strength coach here at Ohio University, the baseball strength coach, led a clinic session at the state clinic.
Oh, really?
And
on that,
and he talked about that is something they do, and I took that back this year, and we tried it in a couple of practices where you had to get so many fist bumps. Like your goal was to get 25 fist bumps throughout the course of the practice. And
like if we're doing a drill or whatever, like if you're in the base running group, right? And you just did, and a guy came back from doing something well, boom, boom, boom. Everybody, let's get it. Just be mindful of that all the time.
Yep.
At the end of every inning, everybody that's in the dugout, if we're on the field, everybody that's in the dugout, you're out of the dugout, out of the dugout, high-fiving guys when they come in. Everybody. It's not just coaches doing that. It's everybody. Yeah. And it's just, those were rules that we set. Like we've got a physical touch rule. We just call it connection. Yeah. We're building connection every time. Stuff. Every time you touch someone, a teammate in that way, you're building connection. Yeah. And it's
a lot of positive.
Listen, there are some kids that never experience positive physical touch, right?
Yeah,
they don't get it. They don't, and it is physiologically proven to build inner positivity when somebody gives you non-sexual positive touch, right? Whether that be, it's important for us to do that. It's important for us to, I think it's important for us to talk about it and to, with our teams, because we got guys probably who listen to us who coach girls teams, right? Mm-hmm. Like, how do we do that with girls teams? Same way. We're not touching our guys sexually either.
Sure.
Right? Right? High fives, fist bumps. I mean, it's needed.
Although I will tell you this.
You accidentally, like, cause we do pat guys on the tush there.
So I coached I for a period of time in August. I coached a softball team,
fall ball
team, and
took a picture out, and you're like,
I started.
You almost did.
I didn't, but
that's because that's what you do when you take a picture out. Sometimes you're like, hey,
the thought was
right.
Oh, don't do that.
Exactly. Yeah.
So yeah. But
innocently, like that. But
and maybe
if you did that accidentally, like you said, it's not 1948 anymore.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's why maybe we shouldn't pat our pitchers
our guys either.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
But
it has nothing to do with. It has nothing to do with being. I mean, it's just a. I mean, we always talk about it. Hey, give a guy a pat on the and say he did a great job. Right?
Yeah.
So
yeah. No, you're right. Yeah.
But the connection, the physical touch thing is it's valuable. It really is. It's important. In the same way that we encourage people verbally, I think when you just you can, it's a nonverbal team builder, right? Just fist bump.
Yeah.
And you see it at all levels. You see it. I mean, it's I'm around this football team here at Ohio University a lot, and you can see the staff guys telling each other, "Hey, here they come, and they'll line up, along the sidelines as the guys are running out, and they get everybody. I mean, it's like they're not missing anybody. It's let's go. It's built in to build one another up,
and it drives energy.
It does.
Because you gotta work out a little bit. You gotta have a good feel about it.
Right.
It doesn't work if you're dragging going around.
Well, you're not going to do it. right? Yeah.
So it forces
you're
you to,
building positive energy there.
right?
Yeah. That's what it is. So, but no, that's
I don't even think we covered half of our list, did we? I mean, there's all these things we can.
Let's throw out. Oh, let's just do a quick. What we got? We're 55 minutes in, almost. Let's do a quick. Let's throw out some popcorn, pinball. What are some of the things that we can do?
Brainstorm. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, like I guess throw out ideas for the little things that really do build good, positive team culture, without maybe elaborating on them like we did for the 3 or 4 that we talked about here.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it kind of goes hand in hand, but the way that we're talking about this is the way that we talk about mental confidence, mental strength, and the mental part of the game, and how you got to be deliberate and working on that.
Yeah.
So just any amount of time that you can set aside in practice to talk about your mental approach, and when we think about these students, and depending on where you coach. I mean, if you're coaching a summer team, kids aren't going to school, but they still have their own lives and they're still doing things and experience things. They're bringing baggage, might not be the right word, but they're bringing a lot of things to the practice field with them.
Yeah.
And one of our goals should be to give them a little bit of an escape from that.
Yeah, give them a place where they don't have to worry about that.
Yeah, for sure. So just to just think about that.
Be aware intentional
of it,
about
intentional about it for sure.
Yeah. A big one for me, and well, here I'll put it this way: teaching certain things that are important. Like you don't have to do them, but it's important to do them just as a human being, right? Like we do the national anthem before the games.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, I know you.
And
did.
so we practice that. We do. I'm like, this is how we're going to take the field, and this is how we're going to stand. Everybody's either standing with if one person, seniors, what are we going? Are we taking our hats off? Are we holding the hats over the heart? Right? We're all going to do the same thing. If that and when that music starts, we are not talking to one another.
Yeah.
Right. Your eyes are on the flag. You're taking some deep breaths, and you just aren't talking. You're not moving. You're not talking. Do it the right way, and so like making that kind of thing important. It's teaching some extra things like that. Were you going to add one, or did you think I was going a different direction there?
I was going to add one. Just whenever we talk about things like that, I think about the labels. So what we allow our players to, how we allow them to refer to us.
Oh like yeah.
Which is, I think,
calling you. Do you have to call me coach?
Yeah, something like that. I'm not. I think I think that's another discussion to have. But that's the first thing that I thought about. When you said doing things the right way and preparing them for life. Let's talk about that. Anything that you can do through the course of the practice, the game, the season, that is going to better prepare these kids for life when they get out and they're competing for jobs and in a cruel, difficult world. Anything that you can do to help prepare them for that is something that we should think about. And
for sure,
setting guardrails is setting a standard, having a standard that you are expected to live up to is part of that.
Yeah.
And I think when you talk about something that you look back and remember. Definitely people look back and remember the way that they were expected to behave, and certain coaches asking them to behave in certain ways, and maybe sometimes it's aloof and they make jokes about it, but they still remember it and recognize the value and recognize that usually the coaches did it because they cared about them.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, that's a good point. Oh, I just thought of another one. Sorry. I know we're late on time here.
I'm good.
When you talk about being intentional about teaching things, gratitude.
Yeah.
I want the bus driver
Mm-hmm.
to hear every single person say thank you when they drop us off at the field and when they drop us off when we get back. I want them to be mindful of when we get to the restaurant. The bus driver is usually the last one to leave the bus. Hey, come on, you're first, Tom. Or, you're first, Connie. I mean, whoever's whoever's driving our bus, they're really felt like that they're part of who we are.
Yep, sure.
But also, like we have the team moms do the team meals. We're making sure that we're thankful, and just gratitude is something that's always in the front of your mind. Thank the umpire, for the catchers, making sure they have that good relationship. Our first baseman, do the same thing. Shake the umpire's hand out there, but just be mindful of those things, right? Those little things.
Sure.
So
yeah.
gratitude. Yeah.
Yep.
So
we cover them all.
Not all of them. Yeah, there's got to be more. Just leave it. What do you do for your teams? Leave them in the comments. Send us a message on whatever it is that you use, Twitter or X and Facebook and email, whatever. Reach out to us. Let us know.
Good talk.
Yeah, I agree. I like this stuff. I'm gonna go back and listen and take some notes because you had some ideas that I like. So.
All right, man. Well, good seeing you. We'll see you, and everyone will see us again.
It's a big weekend
next week.
Go Cats!
We didn't even mention
Bobcats going up to Columbus, take on the Buckeyes.
It's true. I'm not going to make my same prediction this week.
People are asking me to make a prediction. Like, you can't ask for that game. You can't ask for a prediction.
I don't know. I'm pretty crazy.
The spread is 32.5. I'm telling you, the Bobcats have blown the spread away the first 2 weeks. Yeah. They had won outright last week over WVU. But if you bet on the Bobcats, you're winning money this year.
Yeah,
so far.
Well,
the lines are going to get harder. Vegas is going to start making it harder. Yeah.
Because I do think they are a good football team. And I tell you, the defense played great.
The defense made a turnaround from first half of the Rutgers game. Since then,
defense.
Coach Hauser's good, man.
Defense
he's a good defensive coordinator
right now.
Yeah, we're so lucky to have kept him. Because he showed that last year.
That will be interesting.
Yeah.
We didn't even talk about the Browns.
We didn't chit-chat.
The Browns losing to your second favorite.
Well, that's rough.
It's rough for the Bengals to barely beat them. I'll tell you that.
Well, what kind of a season? Like, if I was a Bengals guy, I'd be like, maybe things are turning around because they scored 40 points a game last year and couldn't win.
That's true.
They scored.
That's the Joe Burrow.
They went 7 yards of offense in the second half this week and won somehow. It's like those were the games they were losing last year. Someone got lucky and got a penalty at the last second, so we made the field goal a little closer. The Chiefs, just game after game, and the Chiefs lost on something like that this week. So maybe the tables are tipping a little bit different direction.
The universe is directing. The
table just stays the same for the Browns every year.
Oh yeah, it's not going to change for sure. I saw.
Man, they played good defense though.
Defense is legit.
I thought Flacco looked good too.
I thought Flacco played great. Yeah, receivers dropped a couple balls and we missed kicks. Three big drops, two
interceptions that occurred exactly the same way.
So weird.
It is weird. You can go a whole year and never see an interception like that.
The receiver set it up in the air like a volleyball.
It was almost like he had it in his hands and just.
I say that, and the Bengals defenders still have to be in position to make the play, and to give some credit to what Joe was saying after the game. Maybe those defenders don't bring those balls in last year to seal the deal. Maybe they fall on the ground and the Browns have new life, but 2 times.
Yeah. 2
Bengals defenders were in position to make a play.
Yeah.
And they made the play.
Yeah.
Was it were they lucky to be in the position? Yeah. But they made the play.
Yeah.
And whereas last year maybe they didn't.
Well, I mean, last year the defense didn't. The defense lost them games.
Yeah.
They didn't win them games. They lost them games. Well, so maybe to start right off and feel like, hey, our defense won us this game, might be when nobody thinks they're going to, even still this year.
Yeah.
Maybe
I hope their defense is great, because if not, Browns are in trouble.
So far, the Bengals and the Steelers are sitting on top of that division.
I can see the Browns being 0-6 here pretty soon. But the first start of their season is just brutal.
Yeah,
it's brutal. They have the Ravens this week. So
yeah, why do you start? I don't. Has the NFL always done that? Have we talked about that before?
I never used to.
Dallas started off with Philadelphia.
They start. I think now they're starting with divisional games and ending with divisional games.
You got to be ready. You better be ready.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. You're coming right out of the gate. So.
Anyways.
At least we didn't chit-chat about this stuff at the beginning.
Sure.
We waited to the end.
We'll see you next week.